kept themselves company with music. Two voices is like me and my mom. We can survive, but eventually you need more. Three voices as complex as life is supposed to be. I could listen forever. Looks like they made it out of here. But what is this group? In the empty places, I found companionship in the tapes I recorded before leaving home. The elder told me the story of her life. I listened back to it, ready to note down anything that seemed important.
Let's set the scene for the listener, whoever that might be. This is the elder speaking. We're sitting in the plaza, saying goodbye to a dear soul. We're here to see if there's anything useful in my mind that could help you on your trip. A century's worth of memories, dreams, fantasies, visions. Like a big, old, haunted library. When I die, this library will burn down. But which book should we check out first? I don't have all the answers, but I do feel the story of my life could help you understand what kind of world is out there. It's okay not to understand everything right away. The moment may pass before you've gotten a firm hold on it. But as long as you're there to witness it, to take it down in your journal, you and others to come will someday take the time to make sense of it all. I heard, somebody told me, you want to capture what it's like to be alive during this season, for the future? And you want to understand why and how the season is going to end. The season of my youth is long gone. But I can tell you what that season was like and what I know about how it ended. First, I got old. That's an important step. Being an elder is all about how you react to strange events. The key is not to be surprised, but kind of frown, look serious, and say something like, "It begins." Never say, "I don't know." Say, "We dive into a pool of uncertainty." I was born on the ocean. My mother and father worked on a cruise ship. The short-lived but glorious, watery republics, floating cities. Most won their independence by the time I was born. How can I describe them? They were a jewel of the golden season. Pleasure boats with a radical political program. How nice. The golden age was a time of flags, logos, mottos, mastheads. My mom taught me to read them. She was a ship's philosopher. My dad was a recycling engineer. Recycling on the ship was a matter of life and death. We had to get the most out of every object and watt of energy. My grandparents played with the past. They changed it like we change our wardrobe. So it was a different answer every time. But they often said we were exiles of some kind. Exiled royalty from a secret lineage. Blood that glows in the dark. Or exiled from the mouth of some great leviathan. When they were older, they just said, "We're from here. We're from right now." I loved the way the ship would tilt and roll with the waves, especially as I fell asleep. It was so comforting. Picture me as a kid in bed, feeling the swaying of the ship. It was like being rocked to sleep as a baby. I loved exploring the ship too, wandering through the suites, the swimming pool, the game rooms, and there were 2 dance halls, a large, elegant one and another one in the basement. A lot of my firsts were down there, my first dance, my first kiss, and so forth. Our ship was taken over in the early days of the war. That was the end of the watery republics. I heard the dance hall in the basement became a weapons cache. It took me half my life to say goodbye to the world I knew in my youth. Imagine me and my parents and everyone I knew being escorted off the ship by a company of soldiers. And I'm thinking, I hope they don't make a mess of my room. I was embarrassed by the younger kids who were crying their eyes out. But they knew, I guess. Even as things got bad, I couldn't imagine that changes were permanent. It's easy now to look back and say, the internationalism of the golden season was violently breaking down. You can be naive about all kinds of things, but not war. Most of my life has been spent in isolated communities, and the one moment I was in the wild world, you couldn't pick a more chaotic time. And we had been warned this season was going to end. Oh, but we didn't understand the warning. You see, one night, along a coastline, we saw beautiful lights shimmering above the water. Later, we found out this was an ancient warning system. It hadn't been used in so long. We didn't know what it meant. We just thought, well, ain't that pretty? We tried to stick together and camped out on the coast of the prismatic grounds. A kingdom of art and science. They got rich during the golden season. Everything that made them beloved before the wealth came. Passionate, uncompromising, self-obsessed. Made them unbearable once they had power. Artists make terrible kings. Are you sure you want me to keep going? The story gets darker from here on. Okay, so conditions in the camp were getting worse. My mom got lost in thought for long periods of time. She'd be completely still for hours, days even. We realized she caught, well, now we call it time misperception disorder. It's when you lose your ability to tell how much time is passing. A minute can feel like an hour. A day can pass in 10 seconds. What's so hard is the feeling of absolute loneliness. Normally, we're all at least roughly in the same flow of time. But with this disorder, you walk alone, truly. We heard about a traveling doctor who could cure these kinds of diseases. I decided to go find him. I found out his name was Dr. Fumio, and he traveled with his son Lucio. People talked about him like he was a god. I described my mom's condition to Dr. Fumio. He said there was no cure yet, but there was a village high in the mountains. He thought it was high enough he'd have a better chance at treatment. Lower places are more dangerous. Valleys are the worst. He invited me to join them in going to the village, but I wanted to go back and get my parents and bring them with me. I packed my things and got ready to leave the next morning. At night, my mom came to me in a dream. She was standing in a field of flowers. I'd grown since I last saw her. We were the same height. She pressed a finger hard into my palm. She taught me well. I knew the meaning of the gesture. I knew no matter what I did, I'd never see my parents again. In the morning, I told Dr. Fumio I would follow him to Karo village. The next few weeks were very physically tiring, hiking, climbing. And when we found the village, building, planting, cleaning, Fumio brought sick people from all over the world, and they got better. The treatments worked. Everyone was healing. So why couldn't I? One day, we got word the war was over. We never found out how it ended. It was like peace just swept over the earth in a split second. There was a party in the plaza to celebrate the end of the war, but I couldn't bring myself to go. Yes, it was over, but it had taken my home, my family. That night, as I was falling asleep, I felt the bed tilt and sway gently, as if it was being tossed on the waves of the ocean, as if I was back in my bedroom on the ship, as if I was back in my mother's arms, being rocked gently to sleep. I knew I was finally home, and nothing could hurt me.
I imagine coming upon a place as hidden and singular as my own village. Eventually, I found myself circling a valley, looking for a way in.
Oh. The valley. One second.
What will happen when we do as instructed and gather around this fake person?
Is that a strotopop? What are they called? What is it? I love old gear like that. It's getting more and more rare. I had a camera, but it broke. Not that interesting of a story, I guess. What are you doing here? It is some moment we got going here, but I don't want to talk your ear off. What kind of stuff are you recording? That's the way to do it, if you ask me. If anyone asked me, I mean. The valley would be a good place to use those tools. Too bad it's closed down. Let me finish up here, huh?
I'm not the first to do this, just the first in a long time.
Hey. This was like a second home for a while. That was fun earlier when you showed up. And I was carrying the cardboard man. You were like, who are these guys? I've been pretty bored here. You know, the valley's going to be flooded soon. That's why nobody can go in there. The dam is falling apart. Couple of days from now. Day 0, we call it. Greyhounds. We're a community organization. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Health clinics, minesweeping, daycare, evacuations, weddings. We're new. We'll do anything to make the future better than the present. No big deal. We're trying to get new things going. But it's hard. The past really has a tight grip on people. Doesn't feel like a fair fight. So we're trying to, well, anyway. It's funny. I stood guard here for a week, and I've only seen greyhounds like myself, and valley people on their way out. But now I see you, and you're like a new element or something. I've never met anyone doing what you're doing. And we greyhounds gotta support new things. So, I'm not supposed to let anyone in. How can I? Jeez. I think you should go down into the valley and take a look. Gotta try something here. Dang it. I was trying to wink. Well, you get the idea. Go on and put that old gear to use. You can take my map of the valley, too. I don't need it anymore. I'll be down to pick everyone up around midnight. See you then.
I met a greyhound. He let me into the valley. I think he wanted me to record what the greyhounds were up to. And he gave me a map. The assembly point seemed like a good place to start. I wonder what he expects me to discover in the valley. The elder said that people were exhausted by symbols after the war. But here are a few hanging. It seems like I'll have to wait for night to enter the shrine. I'll think about what kind of visitor I want to be. The elder warned me about valleys. She said they were dangerous. I feel a dulcet tension in the air. I enter to see the moment between seasons. I am probably the last person that will ever be welcomed here by this sign. The elder told me there's very little information about the years before 500. All above will remain, all below will wash away. I have wondered about the lives beneath unkept graves. I wonder what the flowers have to say.
God of sleep, I've been gathering harpic and I've been gathering courage. If my big prayer is wrong, if it goes against divine will, please spare the people of this valley. We're so desperate for peace.
Memory told over and over again. It must have been important to have such an elaborate solitary tomb. These metal animals are looking up, expectantly.
run or something?
The people here are so weak.
I heard gunshots last night.
That was us. What is that?
Look at the pond, the water.
What is that powder?
Should we run or something?
Something frightening happened in this memory. But what was it?
The people here are so weak.
I heard gunshots.
A green space. I feel memory in the air like pollen. It reminds me of a poem my dad was never able to finish. The first line was, "If you want to awaken the dead, just whisper." Will the last voice to cry out in the wilderness not even be human? It sounds like they want to adapt their organization to the people in it, and not the other way around. There's a number to call for questions regarding the dam. There seems to be suspicion about the real condition of the dam and why it's being taken down. It's hard to imagine something new, a new way of living, but they're trying. The elder also said low places are dangerous. The city is high up like my village. Maybe it is safer. The gray hands seem to care what people think about them. They say they're going to build the next season. How? The gray hands want to end this season. Imagine if the man I met is the only living gray hand, and the rest are cardboard.
Now you're nervous? You were the only one who wasn't nervous. I loved that about you.
I'm nervous because I lost some Day Zero materials. I don't like those materials just sitting around.
Take it easy.
I'm not gonna take it easy just because you're used to me taking it easy.
All right, fine. Freak out. Where did you last have it?
Think I left it at the dig site. I remember setting it on that barrel. The one you put a sticker on, the little fruit sticker.
Don't cry.
I'm not.
Look at me. Listen, the flood will take care of it.
Oh, right.
That's the beauty of a flood, okay? It's just gonna wash it all away. See? It's okay. Hey, why is the phone off the hook?
It's calling Tiang Valley. I was hoping Poros hadn't left yet and he could get it for me.
I don't hear any ringing. The line must be dead.
God they have electricity down here.
Did you hear from your friend in the Watery Republic? Which one is it?
The Topaz. We can get a ride with them on the coast.
Great. And we're really just gonna leave the car behind.
It's a junker anyway.
Beautiful.
I told you 786 would be our year. I sang you that whole song about it.
They sound so free and happy, just roaming around the world. Is that your name on your collar? Let's see. You are Madrigal. And you are Mata. And your name is Tupet. I wonder who named you that. This machine looks powerful. It must have done the work of many people. You are a cow and you are named Krasnahorkai. A beautiful cow named Gorp. Cows from all over the world came here to compete in cow stuff? The golden season seems like such a different world. Compared to my village, they lived in the open here. They lived on the land itself. I hope in the future, at least some people are still living like that.
Wow, we got a big show today.
Huge show.
Breaking news. The Greyhands have died.
We're being reborn, baby.
And we're taking suggestions for our new name.
Live on the air suggestions from the rank and file.
You don't even need to be a Greyhand to suggest a name.
True, true.
The number to call is 0019. That is 0019. First caller, hit us with a name.
Hi, yeah. I was thinking the bricklayers.
Okay. Bricklayers.
Laying some bricks. Well, yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
We'll be taking them all afternoon, so keep them coming.
That number again is 0019. You're listening to Greyhand Radio. We are broadcasting live from Greyhand HQ.
And we're gonna take a little break.
If the Greyhands are changing their name, you'd know them as something else. These people had to leave so much behind. The artist has depicted the Greyhands as a child. They don't have faith in their capabilities, but see them as innocent? The sound of this bell has a lot of character. I've never drank cow's milk, let alone some kind of frozen version. The name of this cow is TVC-15, oh my. And the seventh cow's name was Balto. Looks like there's no one around anymore to enforce this. I wish Pate could call this hotline to talk about his heavy dream. There are a lot of these signs. They must really want to keep people out of this area. I found a dig site that is fenced off from view. What were they doing here? A greyhound said he left his materials behind. It should be somewhere around here. They look relieved to have finished their work. The work at the dig site has something to do with day 0. This is the kind of brain trouble my mom warned me about. Memories and emotions condensed into a mineral. I wonder what this channel is for. They must have already shipped out all the harpic they need. I wonder what's on this reel. What is day 0? Maybe I can find out more about it. They dug up all that harpic in order to conduct some sort of prayer on day 0.
I've recreated the same setup as the prayer statues right here in my workshop. I set up a singing bowl so I can verify the pattern that will form in the water. And some harpic, of course. Each god seems to correspond to a resonating frequency. And when this vibration acts on the harpic, we get the psychoactive response. Going to give it a try here.
I remember watching my dad make shadow puppets on the wall. Felt strange because I could see how it was done. could see the trick of it, but it still felt kind of magical.
It worked. I do feel the more I do this, the more tired, and it feels like it takes me longer to return to the present. But now I have some control. I face the question of how this mineral affects the soil. I still have a lot of work to do. That's all for today.
A mineral that can affect the mind. The Grey Hands present one side to the public, and another is hidden behind metal fences. There is no one to oppose them. There is only my record of what they did here. I'm sure these critters will escape the valley before the flood. The info sign earlier said they are dangerous in large numbers. I have a pendant, though. In Cairo, we have a statue to remember Dr. Funio. But this statue is meant to be worshipped. This field was absolutely full of memories. I'm glad I had my pendant, otherwise it would have been overwhelming. Dear future person, are there goats where you are? had an uncle who collected tools that were so old nobody knows what they were used for. I hope I get to taste some saba fruit. If it merits a sticker, must be pretty good. He seems to have been obsessed with figuring this out.
Oh, no, no, no! You said we had until midnight. I'm not ready to leave. Look at all this. Wait a minute. A cute outfit, a bicycle. You're not a greyhound. What a relief. I'm sorry. I just assumed because who else would be... What are you doing here? Today? You're trying to do that today? Wow, and I thought I was busy. Welcome to Tiang Valley. You should have been here a week ago when the evacuation started. Almost everyone is gone now. My son and I are still here. There's a few old people left too. You might come across them. Hopefully everyone will leave the valley tonight. We're going to live in the city, in a little apartment. Look! See how they put the dimensions on the back? I recreated our future apartment here, on the lawn. This is the space we have to work with, to live in. I'm trying to really imagine what it'll be like. We're going from a big farm to one room. And we need to be packed by tonight. I already packed for myself and my son, but my husband Yuri is a little harder to pack for because he passed away recently. And I can't bring all his things. It's not realistic. His stuff is still... it's all here. It's okay. What'd you say you wanted to see? The true state of all things? It must be in here somewhere. We can do this. Just need to decide. Yuri learned to paint from our neighbor, Matiora. He painted all 3 of these. This is a self-portrait he did. Kind of intense, right? He was more handsome than that. I wish he could have seen himself the way I saw him, you know? He was really lovely. Just occasional dark moods from his work. This is his portrait of me. We got into a fight over it. What's that supposed to mean? You just splatter some paint on the canvas and put my name on it? He said it was my essence. I don't know. Do you think it looks like me? He painted this for Kochi, some kind of private joke between the 2 of them. I don't get it. They were both interested in the war and how it ended. I'm not. I just pray nothing like that will ever happen again. Which painting should I take with me? Yes, you're right. Himself, from his own eyes. Something I could never see without this painting. Our old cart broke. I overloaded it. So I had to use the wheels of his bicycle. Now he's so mad he won't say a word. I've packed my essential clothes. I don't know what to do with these. This was Yuri's best suit. Maybe when Kochi grows up, it'll fit him. That's a long time away, though. My island dress. I made this for our trip to the islands, the trip we never took. It was based on a photo of a seaside Azan dance. The hours I spent on this. These are some of Yuri's clothes from when he was a kid. I thought Kochi could wear them, but he says they're itchy. So what's the use? But to throw them away, he was a little boy. He would put these clothes and go to school. He grew up. Oh, God, this hurts a little. Okay. Yes, let's bring it. It reminds me of our dreams together, things we wanted to do. All right, this is going well. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. Or someone. The demon of shame and mourning. How could I have forgotten? Now, where did I put him? We need to bring the demon of shame and mourning. When someone dies and you're in mourning, you're supposed to keep the demon in sight at all times. He's supposed to remind you of your regrets. It's a religious thing. These are Yuri's books. They're pretty heavy. This is an old religious book, The Prism of Yesterday. He didn't like to talk about his faith. I haven't read it much. Maybe there's a part of him in these pages, a part I never understood, that I could still glimpse. Maybe he would want me to keep this one. But I don't know. It just doesn't mean much to me. Yuri found this old tourist guide to the valley before we moved here. He was so excited, but this guide is really out of date. It's from way before the war. There's something optimistic about the colors they used. Yuri really wanted to take a trip to the archipelago together. We prepared for it a lot. Even taught ourselves a bit of the language from this book, but we never made the trip. It was always going to be soon, but it never happened. Seems like the kind of thing no one does anymore. Since we packed the Azan dress I made, should we take this too? Or maybe that's enough Azan stuff. It was always going to be soon, but it never. Which should I take with me? Yeah, Kochi and I could still go sometime. Yuri would be so happy if he knew we were there together. I suppose I'll be leaving the other two behind. I know they're heavy, but would you want to take one with you? Right. You probably need to travel light with just a bike. Let's see how this is going so far. We'll remember Yuri's dream of going to the islands. The dress I made for a trip never taken. I'll remember how Yuri saw himself. I think we're almost there. Let's just look a little more. I went through all our old photos, trying to see what I might be forgetting. I love that view. Have you been up there? By the entrance to the shrine? You really should go see it when it opens. It's just across the river and up the hill. The doors to the shrine open when the sun goes down. The monk is still in there. I hope he'll evacuate. That's Matiora. She lives east of here, out in the woods by the river. She said she'll evacuate, but she's still here. It makes me nervous, but I can't complain. We're still here too. I wasn't interested in having a child at first. There are just so few these days. The thing all three of us had in common as a family was that we were pretty silly. We used to be, when we were all together. The past is such a heavy dream, and I never remember my dreams. But when I wake up, there's a cloud of feelings the dream left behind. Then the day begins. I move around, and that trace disappears. I wonder if our memories of the valley will drift away like that. Enough of these old photos. We still have work to do. My husband built these tools to study the valley. They were his life's work, and they took his life away. So what do I do with them? You can't buy tools like these. He made them. My husband didn't insult God, but maybe he stepped on his toe, and his life went out of him. There's the skin of our body that keeps us together, but there's also the skin of our minds. The skin of your mind can pop like a bubble. And everything that makes you yourself will come pouring out, and the earth will devour it eagerly, the way wind fills a vacuum. They might be incredibly valuable to a scientist on the other side of the world. I don't know. I also hate them. I get you're a curious soul, but I forbid you from using them. I don't care, but he did. He gave his life trying to understand this world. I can't keep these tools, and I can't throw them away. There's even more of them, bigger ones, out at his work shed. Okay, I'm gonna turn away now. I want you to take them or throw them away. I don't want to know. All right, this is it. I killed him. The demon of shame and mourning. What was I thinking bringing it along? What an awful tradition. Kochi, do you still want to take a final tour of the valley? Let's get those wheels back where they belong. I know what I'll carry with me. It's something I couldn't leave behind if I tried. It couldn't be crushed, like the demon. It's too many layers deep. I'll carry the part of me that's gone, that's missing. But there's so much life left that flowers grow along its edges. Something like that. I'm glad you came to Tiang Valley today. Thank you for being there for me. I didn't realize how much I needed a stranger's ear. Now, there's no rush, but as you try to wrap your mind around this place, feel free to come ask me questions. I'll be right here until night comes.
We build our lives out of what we leave behind as much as from what we carry with us.
I love sounds and music. If you have anything you recorded to play me, this what I think it is? I can't believe you went in there. Didn't you see the signs? Listen to this. Thank God time moves. Thank God we forget.
Do you want to go on a sightseeing tour? The next tour leaves in, now basically. Saying goodbye is like when you empty your pockets before going to bed. You get to see what you picked up. The things I picked up need somewhere to sleep. Follow me. This is my tree. Since we can't bring it to the city, I don't care what we bring. I love the tree, and Dad cured it. That's what he did. All this purple stuff in the valley that makes you feel funny. See? This used to be purple. And dangerous. Dad made the dangerous part go away. He wanted to make it so all the purple rocks were safe and green. I know there are plants underwater. Can a tree become an underwater tree? This one can't die. It's been through too much. Let's go.
The Greyhands have a lot of this stuff now, for better or for worse. The bird stole a small trinket. I left the bird its prize, but maybe I can learn more about the locket.
Let's go. We had a picnic here a long time ago. I can't remember it, but I've seen an old picture. Can you take a new picture? And I'll sit like Dad does in the old one I saw.
He is a great kid.
Mom disappeared one time. Took me a while to find her. She was sitting right here, and she was sad. I got one of her tears on my finger, like a little bug, and I flicked it into the water. And I said, flow, 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 until it didn't sound like a word anymore. It made her feel better. Now I say it. I say it when everything is moving, but we don't want to move. Come on. Let's go.
Everyone's here. She's really going to do it. How can she be sure?
The shrine is protected.
How does she know?
Sonia knows.
How can she be sure? She can't know for sure. This has never happened before, has it? I don't want this. We need to leave. Let's just run.
Wait. Do you hear that?
Oh, God.
We're going to be okay. It won't be over soon.
Who is Sonia? What did she do to protect the people of the valley? All my life I've heard solemn references to the war. It never reached our village, but it touched the lives of our grandparents. What happened here in the valley, and how did it end?
His name is Frenay. I asked him how he ended up sleeping here. Renee said they were in the valley because they were so hungry. And then there was light everywhere. And they fell asleep forever. They should be old men now. But they couldn't get older if they tried. One time, I saw the monk out here cleaning them. It was so funny. He looked like he hated doing it. I'm not supposed to touch the soldiers, but I let Frenay borrow my pig. I need it back now. Let's go.
This must be Kochi's drawing.
Let's go.
Their friends and family know what happened to them? This machine fueled countless tourists motoring into the valley. Supply lines must have been cut off when the war started. The people here weren't ready for a war. I'm looking at a memorial to the lost, the killed, and the maimed. We are so lucky the war never came to Cairo village. All this will be washed away. I don't know what it's like to be that hungry. The elder showed me this symbol. The soldiers are from the prismatic grounds. They believe a prayer put the soldiers to sleep. Is that possible? The scale of the old world grew beyond human proportion, maybe beyond human feeling. The parking lot will never die. Is she still waiting? That last line is kind of disconcerting. Trying to imagine this place full of tourists, bustling with fumes, automobiles growling for territory.
I've always prayed when I needed something, but now I just want to thank you. The calm you brought into the world. I'm in love with this silence. This moment. We're going to live. And we're going to remember.
I can hear the relief in their voice. This must be after the end of the season of war.
I've always prayed when I needed something.
Those slips are prayers to this god for memories? people prayed here. Who did they pray to? There's something beautiful about the way the minerals catch the light. I smell hay, rust, and old warmth. Music from a trio of performers. The metal, the breeze, and my mind. We have Dr. Fumio's cures to negotiate with the exigencies of life as a conscious being. Here they have a religion. The form changes, our needs remain the same.
I wanted to see the water come up from here, to see it crash. I thought the flood would clean everything. But Mom said a flood is dirty. That makes no sense. I asked if we could stay and watch, but Mom said we need to get a ride to the city. That's our house. You're good. Come on.